Hello and welcome back to the Wellness Plus podcast. My name is Chelsea, and we are back again promising actionable tips and advice from experts to positively impact your health, healing, and happiness. Today, we are digging into the transformative power of gardening, agriculture, and sustainable food production with our very special guest, Matthieu Mehuys. Matthieu is the creator of Valley of Eden, a platform that is dedicated to educating and inspiring people about the beauty of sustainable living and the profound connection between our environment and our health. I will give a small trigger warning. There will be some gardening puns coming up. In this episode, Matthew will plant the seeds of wisdom about how gardening and sustainable agriculture cultivate not only a healthier planet, but also a sense of personal well being. He will sprout actionable tips on growing our own food, making sustainable choices, and nurturing a deeper connection between nature and our own health. So, whether you're a seasoned green thumb, a budding gardener, or someone who is looking to live just a little bit more consciously, this episode is blooming with inspiration and practical advice. So let's dig in and unearth how we can all sow the seeds for a healthier, greener future. Matthew, thank you for being on the show today so I can harvest your years of experience. And that is the last gardening pun, I promise. So I know your story began when you were super young, at 3 years old, on a family farm in Belgium, and you were captivated by kind of I think it was what you said, transforming a tiny seed into something that was like vibrant and full of life. So tell us a little bit about that journey and how that's led you to your thriving career that you have now.
Yeah, sure. Chelsea, first of all, thank you for having me on your amazing show. I'm so excited to be here
Oh,
and
my pleasure.
share all the wisdom about how to create a wellness life. So,
Yes.
yeah, like you said, it all started for me at a very young age. So I grew up on a family farm. My father and my brother are still active farmers today. And at the age of 3 years old, I got so fascinated about the fact, together with my father, when we were working when we were going on the land, that you put a tiny seed in the soil, it can grow into a crop or even a huge tree. Like the moment I started to realizing that, I was like mind blown. And then a few years went on, and by the time I was 5 years old, I came home from school and I told my parents, "Hey, I want to start growing my own food. I want to have my own vegetable garden." Because at that time on the
Wow.
farm we did like cash crops grains, and we have cattle, so there was no vegetable growing on.
Okay,
So
interesting.
you can imagine a 5-year-old telling their parents that have very busy lives, trying to like build a living, right? They're like, no, we don't have time for that. There's no place. And I just kept persisting. Like, I really want to do this. All of us, after some time, they said, okay, here's a little patch in the back of the garden, and I started growing radishes for some odd reason that still can't explain why I picked radishes. But as it turns out, for you as well, Chelsea, and for the listeners here, when you want to start growing your own food, start with radishes. It's the easiest thing ever. You put a couple of seeds
Okay.
in the soil or even on your balcony. 6 weeks later, if the climate's good enough or warm enough, you'll be able to harvest your first radishes and add them to your
Six
yes.
weeks.
And
That's so
yeah,
quick.
it's like a
Wow.
super fast crop, and that's already a healthy way you can change and grow some of your own food. But I did that. I had an early success, and I was like, wow, this is so easy vegetable growing. I had no clue. I just had some seeds. So I said, okay, now I'm going to grow my tomatoes, my lettuces, my everything. Got a
Hmm.
bunch of seeds from the shop. My dad gave them to me. I started preparing my soil. I also started to creating my own garden design. That's actually because I'm a landscape
Okay.
architect. I got also like fascinated about finding some old stones on the farm and arranging them in a certain way,
Okay.
creating my beds. So that's where my design, my passion for design was created. But then I started just seeding everything like randomly and like had no clue. Uh, and I thought like how hard can it be, right? To putting all my seeds everywhere. And I came back a couple weeks later thinking it's gonna be full of tomatoes, lettuce, like
Yeah.
from my early radish success. How hard can it be? And I came back to a garden that was overgrown by weeds, and I was devastated as a 5 year
Oh
old. Like, what the hell's
no.
wrong? Like, I want tomatoes. I don't want weeds. And in fact, ever since that moment, and I can only connect, like, there's this famous quote from Steve Jobs: "You can only connect the dots looking backwards." that
Mm.
later in life I really started to investigate, like, how does nature actually work? Why do you get weeds in your garden? And now I've actually dedicated my whole life with all of the experience that I gained from how nature actually works. And it's, by the way, it's in my award-winning book, 12 Universal Laws of Nature, how to get the most potential out of your land. It's like, when you understand how nature works, because ever since I was 5 years old, I wanted to understand, like, with everything, I need to understand, like, how does it work.
That
So
is such a five-year-old thing as well, isn't it?
true,
That's how
yeah.
their brains work at that age.
Like,
You're like, "No, but I need to know the root of it or I won't understand it."
exactly. And
Yeah.
it took me another, well, now that I calculated, it took me another 20 years when I did a permaculture workshop in India. And permaculture is like a way of gardening that is easier, and you're doing it more in harmony with nature. There's some pros and cons to it, but
Mhm.
anyways, I 20 it took me 20 years to really understand, and another 5 years to start writing my book and putting it into words. And the results now are amazing. So we have clients all over the world. We create gardens for people that are super easy to maintain, that are beautiful, that don't necessarily have bugs like you we talked about it. They don't have the bad bugs that kill your
Yeah.
plants, but they have butterflies and all the nice things. And, like, just to give you an example, this year we're getting all the results of the projects that we've done. And for
Mm.
one client, they gave us, like, okay, do whatever you want. I just want an awesome garden. And we
Okay.
applied all of the techniques that I gathered over the years. And we created a garden that is full of flowers, full of edible plants, there's vegetables, everything. And it only took the client 12 hours of maintenance in 9 months. So we planted the garden in
Wow.
springtime and we completed it only 12 hours. That's like less than half an hour a week. So people
That's
often say, like, oh,
insane.
I don't have
Yeah.
time to garden, and it's understandable because the old way of gardening is just like you're killing weeds. You have to fight against nature. It's like, it's
100%.
not
Yeah.
nice to do that. You're breaking your back. Like, talking about
Yeah.
doing yoga, I sometimes do yoga. You don't want to be, like, in pain all the time. So with the
No.
systems that I've created that are, I call it nature based. That's how nature has been working for millions of years. When you tap into that knowledge, you can become super successful with, even, like, we have projects in development. I'm working on we're actually working in Canada to set up a new aging population community. So we're building like 50 homes, and we're actually gonna
Wow.
start creating the nature of the gardens before building the homes, because in construction it can take several years before completion.
Yeah.
So we're actually going to start with the
Wow.
gardens, because then by the time the houses are finished, it's going to already look amazing. So we're buying time in that sense. So I'm
That is
applying
so
it in all
smart.
of different things. Also, I'm teaching it online to people. Since it's been nearly 2 years now, I started to teach people online how they can do it on their own, and it's wildly successful because the results are, like, crazy. I even have my clients that follow my course to do it for their own garden, and they love it so much. Now they've become landscape architects themselves, garden designers themselves. They have their own clients now. So I never calculated with that, but yeah, it's going well.
That is so inspiring. I feel like the inspiration behind your work is all it's kind of it's funny in how that's often what stops people from continuing with gardening at
Yeah,
all. I
yeah.
mean, I have no contact with my garden. We have a little pool in our yard and my husband will go out every 3 months and just have to pull weeds for like 8 hours and he's just trying to take the yard back down, so
And
it's
that's
like
8 hours,
nice to go
what,
out
a
and
week?
sit in.
You say? No.
I'd say every couple of months he'd have
Okay,
to
yeah,
go
every
out and
three
it's
months.
just weeds.
So
It's
imagine
like
that.
there's no joy in it.
No,
There's just pulling out weeds, putting it in a bag and getting rid of it.
no, and then,
But whereas
yeah,
you had that problem come up when you were young and you said, no, there is a natural way to work with nature to make it work. So that is so
exactly.
inspiring. What was the process of creating the Valley of Eden?
So the Valley of Eden is actually my TikTok profile, but there's a
Yeah.
couple of different programs that I have. I have the masterclass, the Garden of Your Dreams, how to create the Garden of Your
Hmm.
Dreams masterclass. Maybe that's what you're referring to. So what it actually took to create that is that it's a 9 week program, and within 9 weeks, I'm teaching everything that people need to know to design their dream garden. So we're getting into design, how to then build it, and then also, most importantly, because far too often it's forgotten, even with my colleagues, they create something for a client, but It's about how to actually maintain it,
Maintain, yeah.
because there's a system to that as well, and it also has to do with the way you design it, obviously. But still, there's techniques that can drastically reduce the maintenance of your garden. So yeah, that's it's quite funny that I already had that idea in the back of my mind. Like I'm working with one-on-one clients. We're doing gardens all across the world. They don't have to take care of anything. So it's more like luxury
Wow.
gardens where we do everything for them, but we also apply those techniques. So we combine luxury with ecology and making beautiful gardens. And
When you are sorry to cut you off. Go
no,
ahead.
and then I had one of my clients where we did a big portion of their property. We redesigned it, and we completed the work. And my client was like, I'm really in love what you did. It's so amazing. It looks so cool." And then she said, "But now I'm done with having a landscape architect. Like I don't want anybody to come and tell me or like do everything for me. I want to experience
Yeah,
what it is to do it myself, because
I love
there's I
that.
think there's a eternal or something inside of us. I say it all the time. There's like a gardener in every one of us. We all have that eagerness
Absolutely.
to be connected to nature, and gardening is one of the most effective ways. So from that, my client telling me that like, "Oh, I want to learn it myself," I said like, "Okay, you know what? I'm going to teach you everything that I can." I added a couple other friends and family to the program, and I built it, and now I'm doing it on several moments a year. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And one of my clients, she like started really nailing it, and in week 4 she made like a design of the garden, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, I can't do it better. Like literally I was like, okay, this is really good. And she like did everything that was needed, and now she has her own clients like after finishing
Oh,
the
wow.
course.
That's so cool. I love the connection to like human health almost that gardening has. It's not just for aesthetics or to eat what you grow. There is a certain element that kind of nourishes our soul in a way, and I think that's so it's almost like, that phrase that's so common now because everybody's always on their screens like go outside and touch grass. You're like, not only touch the grass, let's plant the grass and dig in all around the grass and really get into it.
But like touch the grass, when you look at the conventional gardens, when you have garden landscape contractors coming in to do your work in your garden, and I don't want to generalize it, not everybody's doing it, but oftentimes they're using a lot of harmful chemicals. So if you have contractors where like you just let them do their thing and they send their invoice, they'll be using all of kinds of chemicals, and they're not even aware of it, because they're like,
Wow.
they use the products that give the most return or profit.
Yeah.
So they use all these chemicals, and you wouldn't actually want to play with your kids in the grass. It's not good at all,
Wow.
and it's not
Okay.
even necessary. There's a whole weird thing that I came across about the landscape industry. So even garden centers, all of these things, they don't want you to be a successful gardener, because when you're a successful gardener, you don't need to go
Wow.
back to them and buy more chemicals and buy more fertilizer and let them come and cut
Of
your grass.
course.
And it's like it's a downward spiral, and it's starting to fall apart. We see it in a lot of gardens. People contact us all the time that like a garden that they've been doing in a certain way for 20 years, it no longer works because we have climate change. That if
Yeah.
you don't do it in harmony with nature and you don't build resilient healthy plants, the system kind of breaks apart.
So tell me, when a client comes to you, what would be the most common thing that your clients are looking for? Are they looking for ways to grow and eat their own food, or are they looking for a space that they can work in themselves?
Yes, that's actually a really good question, and to answer that, it's very diverse, and that's what I
Okay.
encourage everybody to do with my clients when I do like an onboarding call. I ask them like, what is your dream garden? What excites you about a garden? Because again, some landscape designers, they might come into a garden and say, "Oh, we're going to do a pool here and we're going to do this there," and for some people it might work, but do they want a pool? Do they want to grow vegetables? Do they like flowers? Just to give you an example, like in our own family farm, my
Mhm.
I started in COVID. I started growing some vegetables myself because I was living on the farm, with the
Yeah.
global lockdown. And by the time the lockdown had finished, I moved away again, and my mother just got rid of all the veggies, and she started growing flowers because she didn't like growing vegetables.
Okay, fair
So
enough.
it's
Yeah.
really about like, what do you want as a gardener, and it's different for everybody. What excites you the most? So for you, Chelsea,
Wow.
like
So
what do you like about gardening or
I
gardens?
am gonna I'm gonna upset you now because I would love. I'm just gonna be honest, okay? If I had my way, and maybe at the end of this podcast I will say differently. If I had my way, I would want astroturf and like concrete. I would want nothing because in my head, I think the more plants and the more garden and the more busyness brings more bugs and more mess and weeds and stuff like that that grows. So I have two kids. So I think we actually have a neighbor who astroturfed their whole yard. So they fake grass and they have all their kids' toys out there. And the kids are running around on it, and there's never any like, oh, I stood on something spiky, or oh, there's a an anthill over here. There's none of that stuff. So I look at that and I say that's what I want. But I think that's I know from talking to you, and I know at the back
Yeah,
of my
it's nice
mind
that you're so
it's
honest
not
about it.
what's needed.
And I understand it because what you want is a garden that is easy, or a system that's easy maintainable or
Low
low
maintenance, yeah.
maintenance. And there's very few of my colleagues that dare to say like, okay, you need to, there's a way to do that. So I get you. You have a busy life. You want your kids to play in a safe environment. But there's some like the plastic grass that's like when the
Yeah.
sun is on it, it will start to it'll start to like decompose as well, and
Oh.
it creates microplastics. So when you then play in it, I wouldn't
Wow.
be too excited about that either. Like nature has all
That's
of the
so true.
solutions. Why not tap into it and create something that's easy to maintain? And even then, when you maintain, you're like excited to do it. It's not like
Exactly, yeah.
I have to maintain my
So
garden.
tell me, for me, what would you suggest if I came to you with that brief? What would you say for me to do?
Well, I think I would suggest to start looking at lawns that are easy to maintain and that don't require that much clipping. I would suggest to get the grass that you have to improve the health of the soil, because
Okay.
when you are able to create a healthy soil, you can grow plants that are easy to grow. And there's native
Mhm.
grasses that are drought resistant, that you
Wow.
like. The most common lawn in the world is like there's one type of grass that's been used in most parts of the world, so it's not really adapted to the local climate. So then you have
Mm.
to put a lot of chemicals, you have to get rid of the weeds in between, and it's a lot of work. But if you find
Yeah.
a way to do it with with yeah, there's a couple techniques, adding some compost, like really sorting the soil, and then it becomes just easy to maintain. And you will actually feel it,
Yeah.
like just like you might, I don't know if you ever heard of, well, you probably have heard of the additives that we eat to stimulate our what is it called again? It's some microorganisms that you drink. Um, Help me out.
Oh, the for the gut health,
Exactly.
the
The
microbiome, what are they called?
Oh, come on.
Oh, we know what it is. We know what
This
it
not
is.
always happens when, or I shouldn't jinx it. When you have the word, you forget it. So it's the biostimulus.
Good
That
bacteria, is it?
bacteria. Yeah, you have these drinks, probiotics. Exactly. That's
That's
it.
it. We got there.
Probiotics. So where do probiotics come from? They come from a healthy environment in nature. So when you're able to create something that's healthy in your own backyard, you'll be walking the grass, touching the soil, and it's proven that gardens that are super high in health, that are the
Mhm.
gardens themselves don't have the chemicals that are often used. When you then touch the soil or you touch the plants, it will directly improve the health of your life, because
Wow.
it's proven that we actually have a deeper connection that we think with nature, because it's proven that the microorganisms that are in the soil that are beneficial for the health of the plants, they're also the same ones that are in our own gut and in our own
Wow.
brain health even. So even with mental diseases or mental illnesses, when you start gardening, you'll immediately feel how much better you feel physically, but also mentally. So that would already be like one
That is
argument to start gardening.
incredible. Hey everyone, Chelsea here. I would love to take a moment to introduce you to our app, Yoga Plus. You will gain access to an incredible collection of videos led by top instructors in yoga, fitness, nutrition, and so much more. Download our Yoga Plus app today and get a free 14-day trial.